what do we see here? We've seen much has been made recently of the 2-base push of the Terran player. Much has been made of the 2-base push of the Terran player. And all right, we saw Bjorn do that. In fact, we saw Dream take down Raynor in the GSL with that kind of thing, and it worked out rather well for him. And again, Bjorn killed Raynor in a couple series recently, or a couple games really recently as well. But that is, of course, not the standard. We've actually seen a lot of late game play as well, so I don't know that we're going to see a 2-base all-in, a 2-base timing coming from GUMIHO on this map, maybe in this series. But not on this map, of course. Data C is just, it feels too big. Although, we've also started to see that maybe this map is not quite as Terran favored in the late game as people thought at first. Because with all these cliffs in the middle, and I talked to Laser about this, a decent amount in Theater of Dreams is, ooh, Reaper will not go down. We should be okay. But a couple drones, Kansas Force there. Well done, GUMIHO. With all these cliffs in the middle of the map, you can see these high ground positions. Broodlords can park there right on top of them or just on the other side of them and start to worry away at a Terran army in a way that they really can't do for most maps. Which, when we look at this ultra late game composition of Broodlord or of Thor goes Telbat, you do end up getting a lot of Broodlords. And Data C, a map that has 8 bases, 9 bases maybe if you're the Zerg and you're able to expand aggressively enough, you do have enough money to get up to that 33-ish Broodlord count. That allows you to take that fight up with your spellcasters, of course. So between the number of bases that we got and the cliffs that exist in the middle of the map, it does seem to be pretty strong for a late game Terran, and that's actually where we're going to see GUMIHO go, at least into the mid game. It's going to be 3cc play. And it doesn't seem like Terran players are very much struggling to get damage done off a 3rd CC. It just doesn't really seem to be happening right now with the heavy queen counts that Zergs are going for the most part. So that means we're going to see a 4th base, probably before the 7-minute mark, certainly before the 8th-minute mark. And GUMIHO just going to opt into late game against a Solar that has looked extremely good against that style. He's gone and he's, well, he's learned a lot from his tilts with Maru recently, his tilts with Bjorn recently. And he really seems to be handling it extremely well. And in fact, I might even posit that as of right now, Solar is the best anti-Terran late game. And I'm sorry, I think I said Dream in that group with Raynor. No, it was Bunny. Apologies. For some reason I think I'm Bunny and Dream are like the same as the same player, which is not fair to both of them. But anyway, we got a couple Marines. They're going to show up right now. Do we have an armory? No, we didn't. But it's just going to be Marines and Hellions, adding a little bit of extra oomph to this push. But I would posit that Solar in the ultra late, is maybe the best Zerg in Korea at that style right now. We've seen Dark recently. He lost 2 finals against that style, against Terrans, and Solar has actually been doing very good. He took down Bjorn recently. He's been, again, just playing these Terrans rather well indeed. But Hellions are going to try to dive in here, trying to put some damage on Solar before he gets to that position. Ling's looking for the surrounds, but now drones have to get pulled. You got to line them up. You got to be very careful of that one. They are in a solid line here. 7 workers will go down, make it 8 into the mineral line, but Ling's getting a damn good surround. So 8 workers fall for just about 10 Hellions. I think that was the number. Eight Hellions, there we go. 8 Hellions, 4 Marines, and a medevac for 8 workers. Honestly, and generally you would say 8 workers is problematic, but for the expense that GUMIHO just committed to it, Solar's not too upset. Yeah, he would have liked to maybe lose 4 or 5, but with 4 for 5 Marines, and most importantly the medevac, which of course takes power away from the next level of the push, you're gonna be fine. So 1-1 is now on the way for GUMIHO, or for Solar. In fact, GUMIHO, his upgrades are rather delayed, again, because of that timing. So Solar's going to have his upgrades very far ahead of what GUMIHO is going to have, which means that any sort of mid-game aggression is going to struggle. Ellie's trying to dive in once again. Queen's target 1 down. A couple more will be forced to back the hell on up. Ling's going to find this 4th base, 630, very quick 4th. And GUMIHO, that's a late-game Raven. Or a mid-game Raven. That is a very late Raven indeed. Drones are going to have to get pulled. 3 more workers will fall. Lings are going to try to chase this down, but Hellions, they find their way off creep, so not much doing there. And GUMIHO's commitment to stuff in the air. He got a Banshee, which is weird in this game state, but he's got Ravens on the way, and oh, look at this. He's going Biomech. He is actually going Biomech. Long have we waited. Champions abated. Biomech is in fact created. So we got 2 additional factories on the way. Stim just about done. 1-1 as well. But we're going to see a lot. I mean, 2 factories at this point. Okay, 2 factory, fine. For tanks, for Widow Mines. But you had that 3rd one this early in the game. I think we can call that Biomech. So it's going to be, we're on 4 barracks right now, 7 racks, 3 factory. That's a lot of production from GUMIHO. But I guess he says, you know, my 4th base is actually pretty well timed. I'm on 82. I'm actually on 83 workers, or on 73 workers, excuse me. So my economy is rip-roaring away. Solar for his part, he's going Mutiling Bane behind this. And it feels like we've started to see some resurgence of the Mutiling idea in this setup. Cyril took an incredible game where he took 25 workers worth of damage to a Hellbat Marauder timing against Cure on Moondance in the Gladiators Cup. And Cyril said, yeah, I'm going to go Mutas, I'm going to bring it back. And of course, that is Cyril, being the god that he is and taking advantage of Moondance's copious dead airspace. But as of late, it has felt like we've seen much more muted play as the Terrans try to turtle up. Muted play in general is very good against 3cc, against a greedy 4cc play. As a 2-2 is not on the way just yet. We got 2 tanks in production here. Nothing really coming out of that 3rd barracks or the 3rd factory just yet. This push from GUMIHO is scary with the Banshee here, with the Hellbats, with the Raven most importantly. So the creep spread is not going to be as developed as Solar would like. It's harder to take that fight. Well, Solar, importantly, his Baneling speed just finished. So he's got 1-1, he's got Baneling speed. Upgrades timed out pretty well. He's not going to have that big upgrade lead like he did have with his 1-1, with his 2-2, but even still. It's paired up fairly well. We got an Infestation Pit on the way. This means we're going to try to dive on top of this missile turret. A couple workers will fall, but the missile turret should complete. Still 5 SCVs will go down as GUMIHO not taking this lightly. 2nd missile turret on the way as well. Oh, the posturing, the Marines, they're going to be okay. And diving back into the main base, they will go. The boxing out here from GUMIHO is good, but Solar, he just finds the openings, diving right on through it, cutting up like a hot knife through butter. But the double field or missile turrets are actually doing a great job here for GUMIHO. I think what, 2 mutas died? Yeah, 2 mutas. They hit the deck. Now, granted, it's for 10 SCVs, so you can't really be too upset about it. But the double missile turrets are bearing fruit just a little bit. As now Hive on the way for Solar, so he's pretty happy with his position. This push from GUMIHO is scary. It's not maxed out just yet. He doesn't have 2-2. But that's a lot of Hellbats, that's a lot of Marines, that's a lot of tanks. The Armor Shredder Missile and so much of this army, it means that GUMIHO has an effective upgrade lead. But now here we go forward. Solar trying to take the fight. Lings and Banes from the left, the right side. Muta's trying to get on top, but not enough. Not just yet. Solar knows that he can't really move into range of tank fire, certainly not when he's down effectively 3 armor upgrades. So he's going to back up, wait for his 2-2 to complete, maybe wait for his Hive to complete, dive on top of the Marines as they section themselves out just a little bit. And now, of course, Mutas also, they can force the army of GUMIHO back home here. Lings on the right side, they force a hot pickup, but now Lings and Mutas into this 3rd base location, just getting on top of the missile turrets, which will allow the Mutas to absolutely feast. But there's a Thor here. There's actually a 2nd Thor here. You got to run away, Solar. A couple Mutas will fall. 4 Mutas actually have died, but look what they've done. They forced GUMIHO all the way back. Muta's magic boxing, that's a dead Thor. I mean, the 2nd one will not go down. But GUMIHO was forced all the way back. Solar's established his position on the map once again. He's on 5 bases, 6th base on the way, and a macro hatch as well. And the Mutas, hey, yeah, there we go. They're going to find tanks. 1 tank will fall, maybe not much more than that. Mutas only have +1, but 3-3 on the way. Adrenal on the way. Ultra Cavern. Is this going to be Ultra to lose? I don't know. GUMIHO also seems to have made a mistake. I can't imagine he meant to get building armor before +3, but anyway, Lings Banes again, they're going to come rolling forward. Tanks, they're not quite ready just yet. And the Banelings, they just crush everything. But the Mutas they're clumped, and a lot of them did just go. How many kills on this Thor? 11 kills, 12 kills on the Thor. I don't think they were all Mutas, but even still, 6 meters went down. Again, a good fight from Solar, but losing all those meters, that really is a tremendous problem. And also, Solar's, his +2 was very delayed. He's not getting +3 attack. So Solar's gonna have significant upgrade leads on the +3. He's gonna have 3-5 ultras against 1-2 Marine Marauder. And I think that says everything I need to say about this game. Yeah, resources lost is actually pretty good in Solar's perspective, only down about 2k. 12 minutes in without as much fighting as has been happening. That's actually really good for the Zerg. So Ultra's now on their way. All of the upgrades are gonna finish up right around the same time as Mutas show up. But again, 3 Thor shots kill a Muta, so you gotta be very careful there. It does Solar. But folks, there's no Ghost Academy. It's poorly upgraded Marauders. This again, GUMIHO hasn't realized he's gonna let building armor complete. He hasn't realized that he didn't get +3. I mean, maybe it's to defend against the Mutas. The missile turret stays alive a lot longer. I swear, if he gets high-sec auto-tracking after this, that is going to be... Okay, there he does have +3 on the way. He has recognized his mistake, but this is bought Solar so much time. All his upgrades are going to complete. He's got his very scary ultras. He's got Burrow on the way to make burrowed banelings on the edge of the map just so scary. Now his Muta count from Solar is not incredible. He spent his supply elsewhere on 94 drones, on 3 ultras, on 8 queens. Which means, as he does get +3, I mean, these are not super battle mutas. He's not getting armor on them just yet. It's only going up to like 9 mutas. It's really not this insane map-dominating force that we sometimes see when you get up to 23 mutas and the Terran just can never leave their base. But the upgrades for Solar, they will complete. As GUMIHO scans, he says, oh, wow, you've got a lot of bases, Solar. I don't like that. I'm going to have to do something about it. I'm not sure that Solar lets him do anything about it, though, as he sets his creep up further and further forward, knocking down all the rocks, opening up so many avenues of attack. That means that GUMIHO, I don't know really how you're supposed to move out of the map now. The creep spread is just outside your third base. The rocks are going to go down, and yeah, there we go. Solar knocking the rest of these rocks down right now. Actually, just going to be the Mutas. Maybe worried about tank fire. Of course, no tanks there. And GUMIHO is kind of trapped on his 4 bases. Yeah, he's building a bunch of command centers. But if they can't go anywhere, they're just going to be a bunch of mules that make GUMIHO mine out faster. So now is the time, as Solar is maxed out. He's got this tremendous army against really what is not a lot of upgrades. He's going to go try to break GUMIHO as well as he can. Now that Lings the Veins, they run forward. Goes to get a couple snipes up, but the ultras on the left side, they're just not dying. They're shredding everything here. The micro is not yet good enough. Mutas, though, they will run on top of the Ghost. They will go down banelings into a mineral line. 21 workers have fallen, make it even more. 26 SCVs are going to get split. Actually, there's not a lot of mining in that base anyways, but 36 workers have died. And we're going to see the immediate remax from Solar. Yeah, he lost some ultras. 3 ultras, 7 meters went down. Actually, friendly fire looks like it killed a Thor, a couple Marines. But in the grand scheme of things, that was a massive win for Solar. Now, that being said, GUMIHO saying, you know, I knocked an army down. It's going to take you a little time to remax. Maybe this is going to be my opportunity to go and actually establish my 5th base. Because late game TVC is all about that 5th base, and actually Solar running into it right now. Thors will fall. Ghost kiting backwards again. No personal cloaking, and they're overseers anyways. But Solar says that's fine. I'm just gonna knock down all your. I'm gonna knock down all your economy. And yeah, it takes a lot of ghosts or a lot of banelings to kill ghosts, so it's not gonna get all that much. But all the mules went down. Meanwhile, Ling's on the other side. Command center's not burning. The orbital's not burning just yet. But GUMIHO's dead. Let's be real. And he taps out. Solar allowed to grow and grow and grow like a tumor on the map. And eventually he ate everything down. Solar's up 1-0. So again, game 1, Solar just kind of got away with everything. And it worked out for him. Damn well. I think we're going to see a little bit more aggression in this second game, though. As really, it's Waterfall. It's a map for 2-base pressure. 2-base pressure has been pretty good for Terrans as of late. Let me pull up what that stat was. It was actually extremely surprising. Yeah. Zerg has about a 56% win rate on Waterfall across all the S tier, the premier tournaments that have been played. So TSL, Valencia, GSL. which is bonkers considering how small this map is. But if you think about it, because there's no direct ramp into this, the pushes are a little slower, and we've seen a lot of Zergs that go for like effectively 1-1 Ling Bane all-ins, where they smash one army, they run across the map, they break the third base, the Terran dies. Now, of course, if they're able to turtle the game out super late, this is such a good Terran map. Zerg can't keep 5. Zerg struggles to keep 5 bases, and they certainly can't keep 6. And the turtled late game Terran economy, or the late game Terran army, excuse me, of Ghosts and Doors and all that, there's just not enough resources on the map for the Zerg to properly mount a defense. So if this game goes super late, I mean, and I could very easily see GUMIHO going 3CC off of that just to try. If the game goes super late, yeah, it's pretty Terran favored, but Zergs have just found it fairly easy to break this third base position. Again, you're attacking from 2 angles, it requires big walls, it means that the Terran gets supply blocked, it gets kind of awkward. But for now, I mean, we're not going to see all that much happening as, hatchery is going down. It's second racks. Okay, so it's going to be 2-1-1 out of GUMIHO in this second game. The question, though, really, is it going to be TY 2-1-1 where you build Hellions and get a third base? And that is exactly what it is. Oh, wait, no, okay, that's a start point. Never mind. Can't read a production tab. It's okay. So 2-1-1 on the way. But the Hellions here do tell us that this is likely going to be a 3-base type of build from GUMIHO. That is what the meta, that's just what we've seen. But actually, okay, no. There are going to be multiple Hellions, not just that single one. Really, now with the Hellions on the map, it's a little bit harder for Solar to detect what's happening. If there were no Hellions, right, you'd say, oh, well, okay, this is clearly 2-1-1. Something like that. This is clearly aggression. I'm going to drone really hard, and then I'm going to build Lings, and I'm going to counter it. But this build, Ling into the main base. 1 Marine goes down. Good job there of GUMIHO denying the scout. This is interesting. So it's a 2-1-1. But we're going to see a move out from GUMIHO before the 2-1-1 is happening well and truly in earnest. First medevac. So the way this is happening right now, normally with a 2-1-1, you drop the starport, you get the reactor, and then you move out. In this game, we're going to see a move out of 3 or 4 Hellions. It looks like 3 Hellions right here. I mean, there's a 4th one on the way as Ling shows up, sees another Hellion. But seeing them one by one is kind of seems might be a tell for Solar. He's going to move his queens to the third base, certainly, and he does have 12 Lings more on the way. We're going to see pressure with the first drop. And actually, it's going to show up in the main base. Lings are going to have to rotate over to defend that. I love this sport here early. It makes it so that we can't see GUMIHO dropping right on top of things. Ling's going to rotate over. Queen as well. And that's enough. It should be enough DPS to do enough damage on the medevac to force things back. Now here comes the next level. Hellions, Marines, and are we going to... I kind of want to see an armory. But we don't have one just yet. A 2-on-1 Hellbat timing. Actually, Clem has used this to bop Sue recently. It's rather powerful indeed, but it's just going to be a third base on the way. It's just going to be Hellion Marine, but Hellions do such a good job buffering for those Lings that just want to get the surround on the Marines and force them to lift up immediately. So into the main base, they will go. There's detection, or there's vision here at the very least. So Solar should know what's happening, and Ling's going to have to rotate over, but the full unload. There's about 14 Marines in the main base. Okay, good job here. Great pull, great read there from Solar. He just pulls out of the third base. He says, I can't really hold this right now. I've got to hold one spot. So Lings are going to have to show up. A couple workers have died, but really not the end of the world. Ling setting up to knock down the Hellions. There they go. And in the back of the mineral line, the Queens are fighting damn strong. One Queen has fallen, but really not enough. With one medevac going down, Solar is handling this so ridiculously well. This is a complicated build and a half to deal with. But he lost 3 workers. A couple Lings, sure, but he lost 3 workers and a Queen. That easily could have killed him. Instead, he's on 65 drones. He's got his Evo chambers on the way now. He's got the third base. We're going to see him get a 4th base soon, a macro hatch. The world is cracked open, and Solar is feasting upon it because it is truly an oyster. That was so good. That was truly an incredible hold from GUMIHO in that last game. Or, wow, that was truly an incredible hold from Solar right now, as I made the mistake of reading chat and trying to cast at the same time. But now Solar, he takes the 4th base. He takes the 12 o'clock position. He has his Evo Shapers done. 1-1 will be on the way pretty much on time with the Terran. And there we go. Bailey speed, the more important upgrade. Just a little bit faster. But let's push from GUMIHO the next round of it with the tanks here. This is scary. This is something that Solar is going to struggle to do with 6 Banes on the way. But it looks like he just got to give this position right up. So I think this is actually just going to be a dead third, but he says, no, I can make it hold happen. Ling's on the bottom side trying to make something happen. The base is dead, but maybe he kills the army. It is going to be enough. The tanks, certainly they will fall. Notice the Bane sitting right on top of the tanks. The tank fire will not kill that off. And luckily, Solar, he saw it. He had the foresight to build the 12 o'clock position. A little bit harder for the Terran to push, is that Spore Crawler will fall. Overlord, though, stays alive. And with the Bailey speed not done, it's hard. It's really hard for Solar to get on top of this. Good target fire there from GUMIHO, knocking him down. 1, 2, 3, make it 4. But the Marines, they will still fall, and the medevac dies on the escape. Random tank on the bottom side. Lings, though, should be able to clean this up. Yeah, they're going to get on top of this tank. So this tank is a little bit unfortunate. He's going to be able to save it. He will. It's a low tank, but not a dead tank. Now Solar, he's got his 4th base on the way once again. I mean, we can consider just a canceled 4th base as his 4th base on the north side. He was kind of done right around the time the 3rd was killed. So he's setting himself up for a good spot. What are we on? Is this going up for an 8 racks? Okay, yes, 8 racks on the way. GUMIHO, no intentions on a 5th base. He says, you know what? I got damaged. Time to keep the tempo up here. I don't want Solar to get in that really comfortable position in the late game where it is so scary for me. And because Solar, I thought these upgrades were going to be timed better, but apparently not. Solar is 1-1 is just his carapace is done right on time, but his attack upgrade is just a little bit slow. Is into the north side. Here goes, stimming forward, and it's gonna maybe knock a queen down, but no, Solar retreats backwards, and there we go. This drop will be dealt with. Trying to get as much value as he can before it goes away. But Solar now, he's building himself into this mid-game composition. Hydras are going to be the name of the game. Infestation Pit rather quickly wants to be able to get up to Lurker Tech as soon as you please, because this actually, I like this idea. From GUMIHO, first of all, this is an 8 racks, but it is the traditional 8 racks. It's not the Clem 8 racks. He's getting tech labs on all additional barracks, so a lot of Marauders, sure. First of all, Lurkers are pretty good against Marauders. Second of all, it means that it's going to be a little bit slower and really ramping up. And you're not going to have a Ghost Academy super quickly. So from those two perspectives, it does mean that you get up and do enough Lurkers. You get up to Hive, and Hive is not yet on the way, but the Infestation Pit is done. You get yourself up to that position. The 8 racks is just going to beat itself black and blue against the wall that is Hydraling Lurker. So for now, GUMIHO trying to get that 4th base. As maybe he's realized that this 8 racks idea won't work out super well for him. He sees the Hydra, sees the Ling, sees the Banes, and says, okay, no, we're going to back up Solar. Of course, Solar's Hive is a little bit delayed because of the damage that he took, losing that 4th base. And it's hard to break down the Terran position here. This river through the middle of the map is such a wonderful siege tank position that you dominate so much of the map. As Marines run forward, I think they got a queen. But moving up the ramp, moving up the high ground is a bit of a different story. Is GUMIHO really trying to flex his multitasking skills here on Waterfall, putting pressure on the left and right side. It's kind of funny. It's really easy to not creep down, but it's also really easy to get creep across the map. So we're going to see that be a little bit higher focus as the game does go on. Is now Solar running forward, but the tank is there. Good target fire on the Banes will knock them down. Solar says, I can't really take this fight. But the Hive is just about done. Actually, we may see Solar stay like a caveman, go solidly Sioux-style caveman Zerg. Just get the Hive for 3/3 upgrades and an adrenal, and really not lean into that whole Lurker idea. So Lings are going to find the 4th base. Planetary is on the way. I feel like, how many Banes is that? That might be enough to bust that base down. I'm not totally sure. It's 22 Banes is what is required. I'm not really sure if that is 22 Banes, but pathing here. This is not what you want. Solar, you got to back the hell on up. You do not want to sacrifice the Banes there, but on the right side, Ling run by. The wall is down, and this is exactly what Solar has been looking for. A couple of Lings are slowed down, but into the natural, Solar will go. Is GUMIHO forced to go back? Does he go forward? How does he look to take this fight? More Banelings are on the way. Tank sieging up. 2 lines of them. Banelings, they get great connections to start. The Hydras move forward, but you got to back the hell on up. Solar retools the first round of tanks does go down, but now GUMIHO, he runs forward. Tanks re-siege here. 14 SCVs have died. The Ling run by still not dealt with. The Lings, the Pains, they run forward. The army is so damn close, but it does not matter. The wall of the Marauders serving as just an excellent holding pattern here. As GUMIHO's economy, by the way, is well and truly shattered. 30 workers have died. He's not mining out of his natural or his third base, but if he can make this push happen, maybe it's going to be worthwhile. Actually, Solar gives up the position. He says, you know what? This is too scary. I don't want to take this fight. Not really. I've got my right side base. I have annihilated your economy, GUMIHO. I'm okay to give up a base right now, and he will. So now we have Adrenal Glands halfway done. No 3-3 on the way for Solar just yet, but at least he has +1 melee, and it looks like finally the Lings are going to get dealt with. But it also forces the army of GUMIHO back home. He's got to lick his wounds. He's got to find a way back into this. This buys Solar time. He's going to be able to retake the north side base. He's got the right side. He's got the bottom side. He's actually starting to take a base that GUMIHO would like to take, all things considered. But here we go. The army moving forward. It's 4 tanks here, but they're not sieged up just yet. Viper parasitic bomb on top of the tanks. At the front, on the back, Bailings. They come crashing on forward, and the tanks, looks like one of them will survive. Not enough Lings on the left side anymore, but a great fight there from Solar once again. And remember, this is an army that GUMIHO cannot really reproduce. It's an army that Solar absolutely can. So Lings Banes again run forward. Hydra's that additional DPS. The Vipers, they just need a little bit more time. They need more energy to prevent this tank from getting the value it's looking for. How many Banelings are on the map? It's actually only 7. A couple more morphing, and that's a bit of a problem. This concave from GUMIHO is rather nice, but he does not have his 3-3. Not just yet, which means the Queens, the Hydras, they will move forward. Solar, he takes the 2-0. And that means now that Solar and Byun are going to be your finalists here of EPT 138, the Korean edition.